Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oompa Loompa. Hey guys, our video presentation is on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Woohoo!
We first did the nucleus, and we chose Willy Wonka as our nucleus. The nucleus acts as the vault for the $1 million blueprint of the cell, and it contains the DNA, which is this $1 million blueprint, and it uses it to make copies of the DNA or RNA. And like the nucleus, Willy Wonka's the source of the inventions, which is analogous to the cell's DNA, because he's the one coming up with these blueprints or these inventions, and therefore he's the holder of these blueprints. So next we have the nucleolus, and we decided that it should be our chocolate room. So the nucleolus is the site of RNA synthesis and makes the cheap copy of DNA. It also functions to make ribosomal RNA, which makes up the ribosomes. The chocolate room supplies the chocolate and candy used to supply the different types of candy made in the factory. And just like the nucleolus, the chocolate room is made up by the candy, which are the ribosomes, that's used to make the different candy inventions, which are the proteins of the cell. After this, we have the Golgi apparatus, which is going to be our testing room. The Golgi receives the proteins from the rough ER and modifies them by attaching sugars on them through the process of glycosylation. And this helps determine the function of the protein and the location of its final destination. And similar to the Golgi, the testing room receives these inventions made from the inventing room. And when tests are completed with these inventions and based on these results, they're made into the official candies that Wonka sells, and they're given a name. And in addition, the inventions are given specific roles or names when the tests are completed without any errors. And then after that, we have the chloroplasts, which we decided were like the machines in the factories. So chloroplasts convert the light energy into glucose for the plant cell through the process called photosynthesis. And like the chloroplasts, the machines of the factory use electricity, which is like the light energy from the sun, to transform the candy ingredients from the chocolate room to make the candy inventions made in the invention room.
So for the mitochondria, we chose the generators because, as we know, the mitochondria generates most of the chemical energy, ATP, needed for the cell to have biochemical reactions and to survive. Just like the mitochondria, the generators within the chocolate factory are the main source of energy to run efficiently. Like how in the cell, glucose is converted ATP, and in the factory, coal is converted into usable energy. Without the generator and the mitochondria, the cell and factory would not be able to function and die. The next we have is the cytoskeleton. For the cytoskeleton, we chose the building to represent it because the cytoskeleton provides structure for the cells and helps maintain their shape, internal organization, and structure. It helps assist with the transport of materials in and out of the cell. The factory's building would best represent the structure because it provides the structure for all the functions happening inside of it. For the vacuoles, we chose the storage unit because vacuoles store wasteful, harmful, and useful substances that the cell might need later on. The storage unit best represents the structure since the storage unit and vacuoles both are used to store various amounts of substances and materials within the cell and factory. The next structure we have is the lysosomes. For the lysosomes, we use the incinerators to represent this best because lysosomes are responsible for the digestion of unneeded cell materials and may be used to destroy invading substances. Lysosomes are like the incinerators of the chocolate factory. They break down and burn the used parts within the factory that they throw out.
Our next organelle is the centriole. We chose to compare the centrioles to the TV room. The centriole's main function is to aid animal cells in reproduction. They release microtubules that split the cell apart during cell division. Specifically, they produce spindle fibers which attach to chromosomes. These fibers then pull a copy of each chromosome to opposite sides of the cell so that when it splits, each new daughter cell has all the DNA it needs. Just like how the centrioles are used for cell division, the Wonka vision in the TV room takes an item, splits it into millions of particles, then transports it into a TV in a micro-sized form. Our next organelle is the plasma cell membrane, and we chose to compare this to the gate that surrounds the factory. The plasma cell membrane protects and surrounds the cell from the external environment. Only certain substances can enter the plasma membrane. For example, only small and nonpolar molecules can enter, but large and charged polar molecules cannot enter the cell without the help of a carrier protein. The gate bordering the chocolate factory acts similarly to the cell membrane because other than protecting the factory, just like the cell membrane, the gate will only let a certain type of person in. Only people who have a golden ticket can enter through the gates. Our next organelle is the smooth ER, and we chose to compare this to the chocolate river. The smooth ER functions in many metabolic processes and synthesizes lipids, phospholipids, and steroids. The ER serves as the quote-unquote highway of the cell, as it is like a maze of passageways transporting materials throughout the cell. Just like the smooth ER, the chocolate river also transports chocolate to the rooms that need chocolate to be packed. Like how the smooth ER sends proteins that need to be transported to its next area to be packed, the chocolate river transports the chocolate to be packed and sold. Our final organelle is the rough ER, and we compared this to the inventing room. The rough ER takes the proteins made and sent from the ribosomes and modifies them, transporting them to the Golgi apparatus. Just like the rough ER, the inventing room takes candy from the chocolate room and uses them as materials for the inventions made in there. Then the Oompa Loompas working in the inventing room transport these inventions to the testing room to test the inventions.
We did our cell project on what? 아니 너 유튜브
야,
오빠
이거
오빠
오빠.
아 싫어 it's two words 오빠 빨리 it's already been 2 minutes it's been 3 minutes we've done nothing
Is the source of the inventions, which is analogous to the cell's DNA, because he's not chocolate. So the nucleolus inside RNA synthesis.
wait let me cough
It also functions to make ribosome.
do it again we were laughing
Wait, 3, 2, 1.
the centriole division. Specifically, they produce spindle fibers which attach to chromosomes. These fibers, what are you doing? Stop! Test the inventions. Amen. I need come on.